Hi, my name is Dennis Siri. I am Executive Director and founder of the New York City Independent Film Festival, Independent in Spirit, International at Heart, and this is the New York City Independent Film Festival Meet the Filmmakers podcast. Join us while we meet this year's filmmakers. Thank you. Bye bye. Hi, and welcome to today's episode. And we're here with Sam Russell. Hello, Sam. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, Dennis. Thanks for having me. I'm Sam Russell. I'm a filmmaker and a video editor. I'm based in Brooklyn, New York, and my film is called Be Nice to Fish. It's a comedy short film about two roommates who order pizza and uh, kind of bicker about whether or not they should eat anchovy pizza in front of their pet goldfish, and things spiral out of control, and it gets wacky.
All right, great. I'm sure it's great fun. Um, all right, so what made you want to be a filmmaker?
Pretty much always wanted to make movies. Like when I was a little kid, I was obsessed with movies. In particular, I remember watching the Spy Kids movies and popping on the special features. And Robert Rodriguez had these 5 minute film schools or 10 minute film schools that would kind of really break down the behind the scenes in a very like accessible way. And that got me like as excited about the making of movies as I was about the watching of movies. So I started playing with the camcorder. I learned iMovie and have been interested in that ever since.
Oh, I didn't know they did that because my daughter used to watch those movies, but I didn't know they had at the end. All right, anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
And so how long have you been doing this?
I mean, I kind of forever. I remember I learned how to edit on iMovie when I was like 10. And then would mess around with video and every in school every like project if I had the option of doing a presentation or making a video I'd always do the video option. And then I went to film school, and I've been working professionally as a video editor ever since. So yeah, most of
Well,
my life.
lifelong dream.
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool. All righty. And so when you first started doing all this, your friends and families, what did they say? Are you crazy? Go get a real job, or were they supportive?
They were very supportive. Yeah, I grew up in a very creative family. My grandfather's a writer, my grandmother's a potter, my mom's a photographer, and my dad is also a filmmaker. We actually co-wrote and co-directed a different short film called Not the Same Clarence. It's like a drama about a a man dealing with his father's Alzheimer's. So it's something that we've always done together, and my parents and my friends and family have always been very supportive. Yeah,
That's very cool. All right.
yeah,
And you said you're in Brooklyn, so I guess you do have your tribe of filmmakers around you that you have as your support group on a
I
day-to-day.
do. Yeah,
Yeah. All right.
yeah,
So
yeah. No,
I was gonna ask you if you had that. That's the next question.
I do. I do.
All right. And I guess also the next question was what made you decide to make this movie? You kind of answered that, but if you want to get more into that, that'd be great.
Sure. Yeah, yeah. So this movie, Be Nice to Fish. I got the original idea years ago when a friend of mine made a different short film that featured a live goldfish. And when the film wrapped, they were trying to get rid of the goldfish because they just bought it for the movie. So I ended up adopting this goldfish, and just kind of had me thinking how kind of disposably we treat these little animals that are stuck in these tiny little bowls. And that kind of existentialism of that spurred the idea for the original script, which changed and morphed. And then years later, the thing that actually inspired me to you know go into production, finish up the script, and make the movie was coming out of COVID, having a lot of friends and family as lockdown guidelines were dropping. People were doing creative things and doing creative things together and going back on set. And so after kind of helping some friends out with passion projects, I kind of like got inspired and was like, oh, I want to make this script I've been kicking around for a couple of years.
Okay, cool. Cool. So that was your passion project.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. What was the hardest part of making this film?
So I knew I wanted to do something unique with like the editing style. Like I was very inspired by the Wachowskis speed racer movie and animation and comic books. So I knew I wanted to have this kind of like collage aesthetic. So in order to do that, we shot a lot of green screen. So basically, every close up in the movie, we shot the actor in the space with the lighting set up, and then we did the same shot again with the green screen slotted behind them, and then we had to get the plate. So the background plate to comp in later. So that kind of doubled production time. And on top of all that, the actors were improvising and coming up with different jokes on every take and stuff. So it doubled production time and kind of like created a unique challenge there. And then in the edit, I had like just a ton of options, just so many choices because I had every take, and I had every take with the actor's head isolated that I could slide and move and collage and put anywhere I wanted. So that was all like kind of a, it was kind of the point of making the movie, but it also was like this unique challenge as well.
Okay. And what was the fun part about making this movie?
I mean, the fun part was I made it with like all my friends. We shot it in my childhood home that my parents still live in. We all kind of piled in. I think there was like maybe about 10 of us, and we just piled in for 3 days. It was like summer camp, just spending all day every day making this goofy movie together. So that was a just a very fun experience.
I'm not sure it was fun for your parents, but anyway.
Oh, they loved it. They're
They probably did.
they're obsessed. Yeah.
So I guess my next question is, were you happy with it? Or like on average, it's not so much this movie, but on average, when you shoot something and you're all done editing, do you sit there and go, okay, that's the best I can do and I'm going to move on? Or do you always sit there and go, oh, I should reshoot this, I should reshoot that, or whatever?
Yeah. No, I think most of my projects, but especially this film, I'm usually pretty satisfied. I guess if I'm not satisfied, in both cases I move on to the next thing. Um, but yeah, no, I've been fortunate that my projects. I think when I'm developing a project, like I'm realistic about my resources and my own abilities and skills, and I kind of write and plan to those strengths. So usually coming out the other end, I'm like pretty happy with what's uh with how it all ended up.
Right.
And I feel that way about this movie too.
Right. So what you're saying is that good planning always makes the ending come out fine.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, cool. And right, the other question is how do you define success in the indie world? It's certainly not by buying mansions, that's for sure. Or
Yes. Yeah, no, I'm not getting rich doing this. I think success for me, particularly on this project, it has been screening it at festivals with an audience in the theater and hearing people like laugh at all the right moments, react in all the ways that I wanted them to. So having that kind of like collective experience and getting to like talk with people about it afterwards, like that is that's what success is for me. Especially like for a comedy, I think like getting the laughs, that's the success I'm chasing.
okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Um, and what advice would you have for a young filmmaker? I know you're young yourself, but somebody really young, let's say, your sister's son come over to you at 12 years old and says, "Hi, uncle, I want to do a movie."
Yeah.
What would be what would you say? What would be your words of wisdom to him?
I would say make something that you would want to watch. Make something for yourself. I mean, I guess number one, the kind of like classic advice is like just make something. Just like take stock of your resources and like see what you got and just create something. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for funding. Just like make it happen. Do it yourself and have fun doing it.
Mhm. Okay, that's cool. I mean, that's the end of my questions. You were actually very articulate here. Do you have anything you want to say as a close?
Yeah, I mean, thanks for chatting, and thanks for including Be Nice to Fish in your festival. I'm looking forward to it.
Yep, the festival will be held June 5th through the 8th, and you're going to be there in June, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, I'll see you then.